How's it going, buddy?
Nice to see you. How are you?
I'm good.
Oh, nice earring, Kyle. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Nice to see you. Thanks for doing this.
You noticed.
Was that after the Companion of the Order of Canada? They gave you one of those earrings? Is that how that works?
I was telling people outside that people don't understand how much you changed this place.
Oh, I don't know. If I don't.
You know, when you arrived, well, you actually had a ring through your nose, right?
Yeah.
When you arrived. And they thought, no, you can't do that, George. So you had to retreat to the double set you got now. But, you know, I didn't have anything. But man, now, look at me now.
Right. And those are just the piercings we can see, right?
That's right.
You were the first guest on this show, and I'm honored to have you in this position right now. So how much has changed over 10 seasons,
Man,
but for you as well, right?
Everything's changed, you know, for both of us. I mean, it's been an incredible run for you, really. And you've truly meant so much to this network in terms of everything you've brought to us, the image that you've helped us achieve as a network that is much more than just old guys in suits. Now they're old guys with earrings and suits.
I just tried to honor those young at heart guys in suits. That's all I tried to do.
I should tell you this, I didn't pierce my ear. This is one of those, you know, it's magnets. I didn't even know they had those.
Strangely, it looks really good on you, though.
It does look good.
Yeah.
I know.
This is one piece of advice Don Cherry told me. So like, when you come to Hockey Night in Canada, take out the earrings. I thought, Peter liked these earrings. I can be okay.
What are you going to do?
I don't know,
what about all this stuff about, you know, the debate about whether you should wear a tie or not?
I don't know. I've thought about it, but I haven't really thought about it, to be honest with you. I still want to...
I got lots of ties if you need some.
Listen, I might borrow... You know what? I got a tie. Prime Minister Harper sent me a tie, but he said it would be skinnier, because you like skinny ties, but it was flowery and loud like Don Cherry's. So maybe I should just put that on the very first episode.
George, be you.
Yeah,
that's why we wanted you. That's why they want you. They want you to be you.
Listen, I couldn't have done this without you. I couldn't. So, and I appreciate that, but there's lots of stuff I want to talk to you about, because we get the opportunity to sit across from you. You're the chief correspondent.
You know, when I first met you, remember that?
Yeah.
You know, I'd been a fan of yours, watching you on Much, and you were, you know, you rocked. But you did more than rock. You talked about our times and about our, especially what a generation was thinking. And I have this little program called One-on-One, and so I wanted George. And it's important to remember what George was like back then. This is 2003. Watch this.
Which group or which person who put something out like Madonna's about to put out would impress you, that it would have an impact?
That's a good question. I think it's going to be those bands like Coldplay, who...
They're British?
Yeah,
Scottish?
a British band, and they sing these songs that are in all the television shows. They just performed on an evening talk show, and the lead singer had written on his hand, "Make trade fair." That's the way you're going to reach people now.
I remember that day because, you know, some of my friends in the newsroom were saying, what's going on? Like, what are you talking to him for? And I said, this is it, man. This is the future. You've got to be thinking this way.
So with so much going on in the world of news today, I mean, where's your head at? You've been covering this for so long, but I know you still have that youthful vigor. So what do you feel about, you know, the era of news right now where weather and the missing plane story, which is a tragedy, but the way it wallpapered news, just where we are?
I mean, people have been fascinated with that story, and we, you know, some networks are trying to do it with a certain, you know, concern about the fact that there are other news events going on, and while other networks, one in particular, your good friends at CNN, have said this is our ticket out of the doldrums that we've been in, and they have been in doldrums.
And it helped them.
It helped them, you know, for the first 3 weeks or so. I'm not sure, you know, at a certain point, you know, the plane's missing.
Yeah.
You know?
And there's no news.
And there's no news. But still, having said that, people are fascinated with that story. You know, it's one of those classics that people of our time will remember all their lives, no matter what the end result of all this is. But there are other big stories. What's going on in Europe and Ukraine and Crimea is huge and warrants our attention and our concerns. But you know, lots of stories do, and we have to keep pursuing all of them.
I was just thinking about how so much has changed, and I was thinking, about the CBC budget cutbacks. I'm like, oh my God. I always think about the news department because news, when done properly, costs money. When done properly.
Yeah, I like to tell the story in our newsroom about the week I joined, September of 1968. There were layoffs.
So wait, the
there were
Leafs haven't
cutbacks.
won a Stanley Cup.
No, the Leafs had won the cup the year before.
Right, yeah.
And we figured it would just go on forever.
So yeah, there were layoffs. It was serious times.
So there were layoffs that week. Trudeau was prime minister, and the Liberals, had cut back something in terms of the CBC budget. So there's kind of a history to this, but the last 20 years have been particularly tough in terms of layoffs. Some of this has happened right across the broadcast spectrum, not just at the CBC. But it's been difficult times, and there's no question that people like me say, how long do I want to do this under these conditions?
Right.
But then you look at who you're working with, and the desires and passions of people who believe in public broadcasting and what we can do. And you just figure we're going to find a way. And whether I'm there or not, generations to come within the CBC News and broadcast family will, I hope, feel the same way.
You're funny on Twitter. I like following you on Twitter because occasionally it's like, I don't know if he's going to want to delete that tweet that he sent out. But my favorite part is you remind me of the At Issue panels that you do. The panel conversation has taken on a life of its own.
It has.
And added something, right?
Yeah, it really has. When I started At Issue, it was almost 15 years ago now, not a lot of people thought it was a good idea in this building. But who'd want to really watch something about national politics in prime time at night? And it struggled in its early years, but once it kind of got a footing and got some continuity in terms of the panelists, it's taken off. And it's quite odd. Like last week, 1.2 million people watching, 4 people sitting around the table talking for 14 minutes about whatever issues were in politics for the week. And that's great. Those are great numbers for this network.
For anybody, yeah.
They're very excited about it.
Listen, it has been an honor to be close to you and to be on the air with you. I've learned so much from you. Thank you for your time, Peter.
Good luck, George. Don't go too far away.